everybody. This is Inform the Confused. I'm Alan.
And I'm Bobby.
And today we are doing RWBY Volume 2, Chapter 6, Burning the Candle.
At both ends?
Indeed.
At both ends. Last time we left off, where did we leave off?
I was expecting you. I was not.
Oh, well, I'm trying to mix it up a little here. I'm trying to get a little variety.
Let's see. Drawing a blank. You put me on the spot.
No, let's see. We had the Purifight, the really great Purifight
With Team Cardinal.
with Team Cardinal.
Yeah.
That's where we started.
Then you've got Cinder, who more or less planned out and had her minions scout out.
Scheming villains are scheming.
It is definitely plotting around somewhere.
Yes. And in between there, we had Blake being more Blake than usual. And basically just being like
Mopey
and I must do this. I must do this. Screw food. Screw sleep. I'm
Screw
just
that
doing
dance.
this. Yeah.
She genuinely understands. I think she has a heightened, biased opinion of just how deadly the White Fang are.
Makes sense.
Definitely.
And Weiss made even more of an ass of himself than usual. Or not, excuse me, not Weiss. God damn it. Jean made a bigger ass of himself with Weiss than usual.
Also true.
Yes. All right, let's get into number 6 here.
Do it.
There's a point where it tips, there's a point where it breaks, there's a
Like
point
that
where
they're,
it bends, and a point we just can't take
Large rocks in a field around the school. A single road.
There's a line up across and there's no return. There's a time and a place, no bridges left to burn.
Because he really look at the map and look at the rail tracks. The school is not like in the city itself. It's going to pump on a cliff that's upriver of the city, surrounded by woods.
Now it's time to say goodbye.
Anytime they have to go to the city, they have to come back. Because otherwise, it's kind of looking at waterfalls.
But, yeah, wouldn't want to.
You make it child labor. You do it for school credits. You operate.
I
the
need
list.
you to pick a tablecloth. Are they both the same? I don't even know why I asked. So, have you picked out a dress yet? What's the point? Who cares about the dance if Blake isn't going?
Oh, don't worry. She's going. Weiss? I thought we agreed. No doilies.
If I don't get doilies, you don't get fog machines.
Your dance is gonna have fog machines?
We were thinking about it.
That's pretty cool.
You ladies all excited for dress up?
Yeah, right.
Laugh all you want. I'll be turning heads tomorrow night.
What are you two
Breaking
wearing?
necks.
This?
Ignore him, for he knows not what he says.
Hey, I may have moved to Mistral, but I grew up in Vacuo. It's not exactly a shirt and tie kind of place.
Yeah, we've noticed.
So, what does Blake think of all this? She's still being all, Blakey?
Obviously. I still can't think of a way to change her mind.
Guys, trust me. Blake will be at the dance
She's
tomorrow.
gonna kidnap her. She's going to just bully the shit out of this poor girl. Are you serious?
Yep, we're
I
doing
hope
it.
You get a cat's attention.
We are going there.
So they not only have one physical trait, but inherent character traits? Or latent character traits?
I think this is just Blake is a cat jokes.
Yeah, like they do this a couple of times with her, but it's not a definitive in-universe lore thing. It's more a matter of it's there for the joke. But
Hello! What do you... We need to talk.
Yeah.
Fan service.
Yeah.
God, he's cut too. God, look at the V.
Huh?
We need to talk.
I was expecting the girl with the pink hair
Ren.
to catch that bottle.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. You are one of my best friends. These past few months, I feel like we've really bonded. Even though you don't say much. I mean, you're really quiet. To be perfectly honest, I don't know that much about you personally, but darn it, I consider you to be the brother I never had.
And I you.
Which is why I wanted to get your advice on girls.
Girls?
I just
I don't
know
I'm gay.
how to girls. I guess what I'm asking
gay?
is, well, how did you and Nora, you know?
We're not actually together.
Nora, I said headphones on.
John, what is
Yeah,
this all
see?
about?
Like,
It's Weiss. I'm completely head over heels for her, and she won't even give me a chance. She's cold, but she's also incredible. She's smart and graceful and talented. I mean, have you heard her sing? I just wish she'd take me seriously, you know? I wish I could tell her how I feel without messing it all up.
Then do it.
What?
Tell her exactly what you've just said. No ridiculous schemes, no pickup lines. Just be honest.
yeah, okay.
But what did
John.
Hypocrite.
You can't get it wrong if it's the truth.
You're right. Thanks, Pyrrha. Good talk, Ren.
Practice what you preach, Pyrrha.
Atta girl.
Yang, if you're going to tell me to stop, you may as well just save your breath.
I don't want you to stop. I want you to slow down.
We don't have the luxury to slow down.
It's not a luxury. It's a necessity.
The necessity is stopping Torchwick.
And we're going to. But first you have to sit down and listen to what I have to say.
You good?
Yeah, no, just bug flew by me.
Fine. Ruby and I grew up in Patch, an island just off the coast of Vale. Our parents were huntsmen. Our dad taught at Signal, and our mom would take on missions around the kingdom. Her name was Summer Rose, and she was like super mom. Baker of cookies and slayer of giant monsters. And then, one day she left for a mission and never came back. It was tough. Ruby was really torn up, but I think she was still too young to really get what was going on, you know? And my dad just kinda shut down. It wasn't long before I learned why. Summer wasn't the first love he'd lost. She was the second. The first was my mom. He wouldn't tell me everything, but I learned that the two of them had been on a team together with Summer and Crow, and that she'd left me with him just after I was born. No one had seen her since.
Why did she leave you?
That question. Why? I didn't know the answer, but I was determined to find out. It was all I thought about. I would ask anybody I could what they knew about her. Then, one day, I found something. What I thought was a clue that could lead me to answers. Or maybe even my mother. I waited for Dad to leave the house, put Ruby in a wagon, and headed out. I must have walked for hours. I had cuts and bruises, was totally exhausted, but I wasn't gonna let anything stop me. When we finally got there, I could barely stand. But I didn't care. I had made it. And then I saw them. Those burning red eyes. There we were, a toddler asleep in the back of a wagon and a stupid girl too exhausted to even cry for help. We might as well have been served on a silver platter. But, as luck would have it, our uncle showed up just in time. My stubbornness should have gotten us killed that night.
Yang, I'm sorry that happened to you, and I understand what you're trying to tell me, but this is different. I'm not a child, and this isn't just a search for answers. I can't just.
I told you, I'm not telling you to stop. I haven't. To this day, I still want to know what happened to my mother and why she left me, but I will never let that search control me. We're going to find the answers we're looking for, Blake. But if we destroy ourselves in the process, then what good are we?
You don't understand. I'm the only one who can do this.
No, you don't understand. If Roman Torchwood walked through that door, what would you do?
I'd fight him.
You'd lose.
I can stop him.
You can't even stop me. I'm not asking you to stop. Just please, get some rest. Not just for you, but for the people you care about. And if you feel like coming out tomorrow, I'll save you a dance.
Oh, hey, what's up?
I know this is a little unorthodox, but I wanted to ask you something. Would you like to accompany me to the dance tomorrow?
Oh, you look beautiful! Can we have a serious talk about how Weiss fights in these?
Heels?
Yeah, heels.
Did he button up his shirt?
Stupid,
Did.
dumb neck trap. So, does this mean we're going together?
Technically, though my first dance is spoken for.
Oh.
I told you she would come.
Mission accomplished.
So, what do we do now?
Just have fun.
Does that mean I can change out of these stupid things and into my hood now?
I mean, doesn't her dress have a... Oh,
Stupid
no.
stilts.
Never mind.
Not enjoying yourself?
Oh, no. Everything's fine. I'm just not much of a fancy-pantsy dancy girl.
Well, you can't spend your entire life on the battlefield, even if you may want to.
Yeah, that lesson's been floating around a lot lately.
If you think about it, fighting and dancing aren't so different. Two partners interlocked. Although, one wrong move on the ballroom nearly leads to a swollen foot.
Or a twisted ankle.
It's not every day that friends are able to come together like this. Time has a way of testing our bonds. But it's nights like these that can help keep them stronger than ever. Nights like these are ones we'll never forget.
You guys are just in time.
Miss it for the
Never
world.
forget.
Whenever I think of you.
All right. Episode 6. All right. Initial thoughts?
Ominous ending. I thought this was. It kind of felt like a more of an emotional episode than
Yeah, more of a
content.
character episode than
Yeah.
anything else. Yeah.
It seemed to follow a very similar storyline like I've seen in quite a few high school anime, where it's it's the festival day, so the entire day is spent making sure that everybody enjoys the best day ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that it ends with Torchwick saying,
You mean Mercury?
no, who's the...
Yeah, that was
Mercury. It was Emerald and Mercury walking in at the
Torchwick
end.
is the dude with the hat and the cane.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking who's the headmaster.
Oh, you mean Ozpin.
Yeah.
Ozpin.
Yeah, even him with his little, words of wisdom to make sure Ruby, who was all bummed out, was still having a
feeling
good
better.
time.
Yeah, the days moments we'll never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
as
the terrorists walk in.
Yeah. All right.
Can't spend all day on a battlefield.
Yeah, going down the list here, we have
Just most of it, right?
Yeah. First, we start out. They're setting up for the dance. Ruby's just kind of moping because Blake. Weiss is trying to ask her to pick out a tablecloth.
Going through
and
all the
it's
motions.
not going through all that. Weiss and Yang are arguing about dance stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Then Sun and Neptune come in.
Yeah.
And of course, the minute Neptune mentions fog machines, all of a sudden Weiss is on board with fog machines, because of course.
It's pretty cool.
We get a little bit of information about Sun that we didn't know. Confirmed that the two of them they come from Haven Academy, which is in Mistral.
Mm-hmm.
But Sun isn't originally from there. He's originally from the Kingdom of Vacuo.
So he's like a bastard child.
Well, no, it's a matter. He grew up and lived in Vacuo. Then he moved to Mistral to go to school.
Got you. Okay.
So he like growing up over here and then going over to England to go to school at Oxford or something.
Right.
And that he says Vacuo isn't much of a shirt and tie kind of place. So I can give you an idea of what Vacuo is like.
They all wear clothing that keeps them comfortable.
Yeah. One thing I will point out, if you look at the other student, you can only see him in the background at this point. But we saw it when the villains were dressed up as students.
Mm-hmm.
They were wearing uniforms. It wasn't the same uniforms as the Beacon students, but they were wearing uniforms.
Right.
If you look in the background, you can also see some students wearing kind of like a light whitish gray uniforms,
Mm-hmm.
who are the students from Atlas. You know what? Actually, this point isn't actually going to be made yet. But I was going to make a point about uniforms, but we haven't actually seen all of these schools' uniforms yet. So I will hold off on that point. I jumped the gun on that one. So after we get that little scene, then we go to Jean trying to get some help from Ren on his dating life.
Yeah.
One little thing, you can't really tell because of it happens really fast and the bottle's spinning. But if you stop it, the bottle of shampoo he was holding says Samurai Shampoo, which I believe is a reference to an anime.
Samurai Shampoo.
Shampoo, yeah. And then, so they have that little conversation, and Jean points out the fact that a lot of people up to this point have been thinking about it, and that is that Ren really doesn't say or do a lot. He's mostly just kind of there at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's a quiet guy.
He's just kind of there, and we don't know that much about him, but you're part of this group and part of this show, damn it. We appreciate you.
And then they touch on the Ren and Nora relationship.
Yeah, that
which I
elephant in the
feel
room,
was kind of a note from the writers to the audience as a, hang on, you're coming...
it's very much a matter of, he thinks they're a couple, which is...
But the fact that she's the first one to go, oh, no, wait.
Yeah, he doesn't even, he isn't able to say anything. He just kind of goes, but what? It's kind of his reaction. It's like,
but she is always like, oh my God, it's you, you're there. Oh my God, I missed you.
Nora's problem is thou doth object too much is Nora's problem. If you see, like, when we first meet him, she says, oh God, I forget what it is. It says, she makes a comment
like,
about,
oh, hey, we're together. I mean, not together, but just together.
Yeah, we've been together for so many years, but not together. I mean, you are handsome, but I mean, we would never really offer our friendship like that. That's ridiculous. Of course not. We're not together. right? Not together.
But that wasn't even the view in this one. This was just like, no.
We're not. We're not together. We're not a couple. It's like, which I think is the anime trope of everybody else believes you're a couple. Maybe you need to take a look at your relationship.
See,
if
but
everyone else is
I'm
thinking you're a
banking
couple.
I think he's gay.
Ren or Jean?
Yeah. Well, you did say that, and I didn't really respond.
I
to
wasn't
it,
sure
but
which one of the two you were talking about at the time, and I didn't
Oh.
want to cut in.
Ren originally, but John, no, it's hard to say. Speculate. He's trying really hard for a girl that he is head over heels for. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, we will say. I mean, admittedly, Ren hasn't done or said a lot, so it's kind of hard to get a peg on the guy at this point. That will change. I will say that he's not going to be a prop for 8 seasons. He will. We eventually will get more focus on him and on Nora later on
Double Dragon.
down the line. But just everybody gets their moments at different points in the show.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, admittedly, the only one we have seen express interest out of that pairing is Nora. We have seen Nora clearly has some sort of feelings. She's either just really doesn't want him.
Vehemently denying.
She's denying, at least outwardly, that she's got feelings for him on some degree. So we haven't seen anything from Ren though yet. We don't know how he feels one way or the other yet. So we get that. Then Pyrrha walks in and lays down some wisdom about just be yourself.
Some hypocrisy.
Which, yes, immediately after that, my girl Nora breaks out even more wisdom and tells her, practice what you preach. Which is the one thing
Which
I
is
like.
in its own way a hypocrisy because it would apply to all of them.
Yeah, everybody in that room.
Everyone in that room needs to sit down and talk to each other.
You've seen you remember that RWBY TV skip, right? The one with the chain of relationships.
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Yeah, that is very much the situation. Everybody in that room is kind of. But I do like that. Up to this point, Nora has basically been just kind of comic reliefy, goofy.
Yeah.
Right? I smash things and tell jokes and. This is the first time we see Nora actually show any sort of depth or insight. That she can read even better than Jean. She can read the situation. She's reading both of them. She knows exactly what's going on with these two and has it pegged. Admittedly, like a lot of people.
It's easier to see from the outside.
Yeah, she can read everybody else. She can't read her own situation, deal with her own crap, but and that's something I like. One of the things where, again, I like Nora. She's one of my favorite characters because as much as she has all that energy and the funny and all that, she's also a very insightful person when you think about it. She's, which she's there for her
she's
friends.
aware.
She's insightful and she's there for her friends.
Right.
So, which I like. Let's see. Then we get the Yang Blake conversation, which is definitely the highlight of this episode, at least for me.
I
sometimes you need some tough love, and the whole backstory with Yang is fantastic.
The whole backstory that we get.
You finally get the explanation about Yang and RWBY and why they have different names.
Different last names, and just the whole interaction between Yang and Blake on top of that is just doubly really good. It's a really good scene.
Text, subtext.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's.
And then supertext.
Yeah, but. So it starts out. She's just. I mean, the thing with the laser pointer.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're just gonna. Again, it's funny for us. In universe, it would probably be considered really racist. But, but it's a gag and it's not meant to register on that level. But it's just like in certain moments where certain characters will seem to move as fast as RWBY does. That doesn't mean they actually have super speed.
It's
That's
for
just
comedic effect.
Yeah, it's a trope. It's a
right.
animation
it's
trope.
Anime.
Yeah. So.
Not that this is anime because
it's anime inspired.
Definitions.
That's a whole nother fight. There are whole sections of the internet filled with.
And we're not going to get into
what
it,
is and is not anime, but. So Yang just straight up tries to talk her down. Just tell her, you got to chill. I'm not asking you to stop doing what you're doing. Just, take some time to sleep and eat.
Right, right. Yeah.
And
That's
he proves it
something
by
everybody
beating
should
her
probably
up.
take advantage of.
Taking a few hours to get some rest is not going to be the begin-all, end-all of whether or not we beat the villains or not.
Yeah, maintain yourself because you're no good to nobody otherwise.
Yeah, because otherwise, it's like if you burn yourself out now and you're not even there to fight the villains when the fight comes, what's the point? And so to make the point, she tells this story about her and Ruby's background. So we find out.
Well, it really seemed. I don't know. Like, I know she was just telling the story of Ruby's background, but it seemed a little deeper than that, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's their story. It's a story of their background, so it's a personal thing for her.
Right.
And she was attempting to connect it on some level to Blake's understanding.
She's trying to make an emotional connection here.
Right,
so
right.
It is. This is one of the most deep, emotional, serious moments we've had in the show thus far, where there's not really a lot of comedy to this bit. It's very much a serious character driving moment.
Well, I thought when John was talking about how he didn't think how he was good enough, I thought that was pretty deep.
Oh yeah, that too. It's not the only one, but I think it's the most complex. It's the biggest one we've had thus far. This whole episode is, like you said, it's a character episode.
Yeah.
We really focus on the characters here. But so we laid out. We finally get the name from the grave comes back. Ruby Summer Rose is confirmed. It is their mother.
Yep.
Only now we know specifically it's Ruby's birth mother. Yang has a different birth mother.
Who also was a huntress, who also died.
Yeah. All four.
Well, what she says is that she left baby Yang with their dad and took off.
This is what we have. We kind of condense it down. When they were kids, Ruby and Yang's father, Ruby's mother, Yang's mother, and their Uncle Crow were all on a team together. They were a 4-person team in school at Beacon. At some point after that, Yang, their dad and Yang's mom were together, and they had Yang. At some point shortly after she was born, Yang's mom ran off.
Right.
She's out there somewhere, presumably.
It's probably Cinder.
At some point after that, their father got with Ruby's mom.
Had Ruby,
and
then later
Ruby's
on
mom,
disappeared on a mission.
She went on a mission and didn't come back. That is how they describe it. That is how they explain it.
Those are the specific words they use, and we have not run into anything that contradicts those words.
Although I will say
that is what we have to work with.
When asked, it has been confirmed that the stone that Ruby goes standing in front of in the trailer is I forget what the proper term for it is. It's a
empty grave.
A memorial marker. There is not a body under that stone.
See, I told you.
So now, whether that means they never found a body, there wasn't enough left to put in a grave, or
they've left
what,
that up in the air.
We don't know yet. All we know is that they said she went on a mission and didn't come back, and that there is that marker is not a proper grave. It's a marker. It's a marker.
Yep.
A memorial type marker thing. So we do not know what the status of actual Summer Rose is at this point. It has not been explained. It's been left vaguely vague. Vaguely vague. I think that's pretty clear.
Yep, I would agree.
The relationships and everything.
Yep.
All right. Because I know the way she explains it is kind of in pieces, so it's kind of hard. Sometimes it can be hard to kind of who's mom and who's missing and who's not. Who's
so
dead,
far,
who's missing,
both moms are missing. One of them is an empty grave. The other is yet to be found.
Yeah. One of them is presumed. One is, best we can tell, presumed dead. The other one simply ran out on them.
Yep.
We know they believe Yang's mom is alive. The belief appears to be that Ruby's mom is dead.
Yeah. Yep, and that makes me wonder, like, what about Ruby's dad is just so driving that it causes women to just disappear after having kids.
Well,
it involves what's in his pants.
Oh,
Well,
see,
yeah.
so the way his magic manifests is when he has sex with his wife, they revert back to children, and it's so chaotic and terrifying that he just has to raise them.
Here's an interesting thing to think
Oh
about.
God!
Yep, that's why they disappeared. He's like, I'm so upset because it happened to me twice. I thought I could fix it, but I was wrong. And so now
There's not enough brain bleach on the internet to get that out of my brain.
Oh, that's the thing.
Now.
Hold on, now that's the thing.
Ow.
Now, by the time they're babies, right? He already is going to have developed a parental thing, not like weird. Although this could definitely go weird, I realize that now. But I wasn't trying to go weird with it.
Let's move on.
I was just trying
There's not enough brain bleach.
On the lighthearted side of things, I'll bring this up. Because if you think about it, Yang was born. Her mom left very shortly after she was born.
Okay.
And then their dad
They
got
were
with
both
Ruby's mom.
raised by Ruby's mom for a period
Yeah,
of time.
well, he got with Ruby's mom.
Right.
And then had Ruby. And
she made cookies.
And then we
Explains
know
why Ruby loves them.
She was a super mom.
We know Ruby and Yang are 2 years apart. Given a 9-month gestation period, that basically means, assuming Yang's mom left right after she was born, that means it only took their dad about a year.
Okay, so
to get with.
Once again, maybe it wasn't a matter of. Maybe it wasn't his penis and sex that caused them to be reverted into children. Maybe it was another external force.
Well. The
How much
meme,
dust is too much dust?
I say that. Oh God, I say that there's a meme that goes around because the point of, no, they were all on a team together. They all grew up together.
Orgies happen.
So
exactly.
Yeah. So the meme is. That Ruby's dad, he got with the entire team. The entire team.
Including Uncle Crow.
Including her uncle. That's just a
that.
meme. That's a meme. That's a thing which they play around with in Ruby Chibi, which is just glorious.
It's great.
But yeah, to end on a lighter note with that whole family dynamic. So we get that, and then Yang just drives home the point. Finally, kind of gets through to her of what would you do if Torchwick walked in? I'd stop him. Well, look at me, I'm pushing you around. You can't even keep me from shoving you. How are you going to fight him?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then gives it the tough love. Right?
Everybody
the tough and then
needs
the
a
love.
hug.
She gives her the hug, right? And appears to finally have gotten through to her. And of course, we got to mention, because it's a thing, the last line before she walks away, she drops the innuendo. If you feel like coming out tomorrow, I'll save you a dance.
Wink.
Wink. Because by this point in the show, the Blake Yang ship, Bumblebee, was already a big thing.
Yeah, I picked up on that. Notice how I didn't really comment on it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, at this point, we can now get to that this becomes
What's
a
that?
big
You
thing.
have trauma? I also have trauma. We hate boys.
So they put that in there. And, of course, it's balanced out with, she's taking Sun to the dance, but she's also having that dance with Yang. So we're getting that thing up, and
She likes to walk on the wild side. Some girls like to play with fire, I guess.
This started here in the real world. This then started the ship war to end all ship wars.
Yeah.
Between the people who wanted Blake to end up with Yang and the people who want Blake to end up with Sun.
What about guys? We live in a new age. What about a trio ship here?
Oh, the three of them together, which has a name and I can't remember what it is a thing. But those people are like moderates in America.
Not as popular as the others.
They're like rational moderates in American modern politics. They exist, but there's not enough of them to make a difference.
I am not educated enough to make a comment on that.
Anyway, the bottom line is there is a thing. It exists. Nowhere near as many people are arguing for that as they are one or the other.
Got it.
This has caused so many flame wars. I'm pretty sure people have quit Twitter over this. I'm sure voice actors or people who work for Rooster Teeth have had to leave Twitter for a while over this, over the years, amongst other things. Yeah, this is when people point to the RWBY fandom and say negative things about the fandom. This is generally where they start. The fight between the Bumblebee shippers and the Black Sun shippers.
This is not where I started, so it's.
Yeah. So again, when I started watching this, I got through the first 3 seasons, and only then did I even learn that this was a thing. That that these two were like the ship to end all ships. But yeah. So that is my little Bumblebee rant. I've had it. It's done. Moving on. Then we ended with, then we get Jean finally is going to take Pyrrha's advice. He gets the little flower, gets the rose. He's going to go tell Weiss how he feels and just be honest about it.
Yep.
And of course, in the most cliche way possible, he turns around the corner and there is Weiss asking Neptune out to the dance.
Take a hint.
And he immediately turns around without seeing what actually happens and walks away. Because that is in like bloody everything. In how many pieces of media does that happen where it's like, oh, they're having a conversation and I think I know what's going to happen, so I'm just going to assume the worst possible thing is going to happen, and I'm going to turn around and walk away. So.
It is pretty tropey, but it also fits the age of the character.
Oh yeah, it fits, I guess, and we'll have to see whether what actually happened. For all we know, he was completely right, and Neptune told her yes, and they're going to go to the dance, and they're going to be a couple for the next 8, the next 7 seasons, for all we know. Or he could have told her, no, I've already found another date, and she's going to say, you jackass, how dare you prefer somebody over me, and beat the crap out of him. For all we know, that's what's going to happen. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So.
On the next exciting episode of
RWBY. And then we end with they actually show up at the dance. The nice little moment.
Minions.
Yeah, we have a little nice
more
dancey
henchmen.
moments.
They're higher rated than minions.
Mm-hmm. Lieutenants would be the.
Yeah.
They very much because that's very much the difference.
True.
Between
Torchwick is a henchman with minions. They're more her lieutenants.
Yeah, Emerald and Mercury come off very much as people who work for her.
Inner circle style.
Inner circle. They know what's going on. They're in on the plan. They work for her and explicitly, presumably by choice. I mean, Emerald
and
always
are
seems
trusted enough
to
to know the plan.
Yeah,
which Torchwick it never
Torchwick
seemed
seems like somebody she's almost like she's manipulating him into doing it.
Well, there were a number of times where Torchwick was like, "Can you just tell me what's going on?" And she's like, "In its own time."
Well, and she almost like it's not even a threat. It's just a don't ask questions.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what you need to know when you need to know it. And he's very much just kind of like, all right, just because that intimidation factor. So it's very much. That is a very different working relationship than with the other two. And then, like you said, you had Osmond's little words of wisdom at the end there.
Yep, he had to wrap everything else all clean, make sure nobody's feelings were hurt by the end of the episode.
And then ending on the whole, a night you'll remember, villains walk in.
Yep, ominous ending.
Ominous ending.
Ominous ending is ominous.
All right. And unless you guys have something else,
no.
I think that's it. Yep. All right. That'll be it for today. If you guys like what we're doing here, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, bell for notifications. Follow us on Twitter at InfoConfused, and you can find our podcast on Stitcher, Spotify, and SoundCloud. We are Informed and Confused. I'm Alan.
And I'm Bobby.
See you later.
Now it's time to say goodbye.